And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. And for tonight's podcast episode, I have my good friend Charlie with me, and along with me, I have Jason Pitts, the director of Alone. Then I have Marilyn with me. Say hello to everyone, Marilyn. And then I have Samantha with me. Say hello to everybody. And this is actually going to be a one-on-one interview slash spoiler review for Alone. This is an independent film directed by Jason Pitts. And Charlie and I actually had the privilege to go ahead and review this film a couple of weeks ago and everything. We wound up loving it. We invited Jason and also to Marilyn and Samantha on the show, and they agreed to do so. So I appreciate that so much. So let's go ahead and get started here. Jason, my first question for you is this. How long have you been directing movies? What was the whole... Here's the thing. I'm always curious about what made you say, hey, look, I want to be a director. I want to go ahead and do this for the rest of my life. What inspired you? I know you're a huge horror film fan and everything too, with Jason Voorhees and stuff like that. I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, it was exactly that. Watching horror films in the 80s, especially the drive-in experience at night, the projectors running and the cars, just that environment was always really creepy, and I loved it. And saw countless horror films at the drive-in growing up, and I just fell in love with it, and that's what I wanted to do.
That's great, man. That's really great. As a matter of fact, I know that you have something that you want to announce though too tonight, and I want you to be able to have the floor real quick to announce the big news for your movie. I just want to say I'm excited for y'all. You guys earned it. So go ahead and...
Yeah. So about 30 minutes before this interview started, I got word that Alone was selected for the 25th film festival. In our festival run so far. So number 25 is in the books. It is the Rocky Mountain Festival. So
that's congratulations to all y'all. All of y'all did an excellent job with it and things like that. I'm just ecstatic for you guys because you guys earned it. You guys have done a lot with this. I just want to say that congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
You guys are very welcome anytime because I'm actually, I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys have done really great with your work. But now my next question is for Marilyn. And I'm just kind of curious here. Like, what made you sign on for Alone and everything? What was like the go-to with Alone? I know that you guys have been working together for years and stuff like that, but here's the thing. Your character made me very curious about her. I'm going to say that. That's the curiosity of your character. The background of your character was really great, to be honest with you, because I'm like, okay, there's just something up with this woman that I understand that she's trying to be someone that cares about this woman and that wants to help her. But I'm like, I'm kind of skeptical. This woman's a little too nice, but...
Well, thank you very much on that because that was my goal. Something's wrong with this woman, but you don't really know. But the thing that maybe I wanted to sign on with this is mostly talking with Jason, and then he gave me an opportunity, of course, to look at the script, asked me to sign on, and I love horror movies too, by the way. It's my favorite genre. And if you think about some great female characters who have been not so nice, I couldn't pass it up. There was no way I was going to do that.
I don't blame you because I have to say your role was really great. I mean, you had that really nice next door neighbor kind of feel to it, where it's like, hey, I want to help you. I've seen that you've been abused by this person, by somebody. I've been there myself, so let me help you by taking care of you. But anyways, but you know, that was just something that gravitated towards me. I was like, it's like going into a small town and you see somebody, you know, they're in trouble. Small town people, we're always the type of people that want to take care of everybody. And that's what I got from this. That's the kind of feel that I got from it. It's like, you know what? This is a small town. This is a small neighborhood. Everybody pretty much knows each other. So this woman just wants to take care of this other person and doesn't want her to be alone or anything like that because she doesn't know what this woman is actually capable of on her own and everything. And the worst thing is to be alone. So that's what I got from that.
Yeah. Well, that's Patty. Yeah.
Right.
Sort of.
Right. With some extra motives behind it, to be honest with you. But, I definitely love that. And then the opening scene with Samantha and everything was really great too. I have to say this. You did a really good job too, Samantha, with playing the role of Kat. I thought you did really good with it, especially when you go, it's leading into the hotel and everything. I love the camera angle, by the way, Jason, how you actually have the camera angles in this. It's perfectly laid out. There's some mystery behind this character. You don't quite know where it's going until it actually happens, which is something that I admire about directors and stuff like that. I look at camera angles. I'm a big fan of camera angles because it actually tells the story of the character, and people don't realize how much of an importance it is for storytelling when it comes down to camera angles. And I just want to say you did an excellent job with the character of Kat. And then of course when you wind up waking up and just take the $100 from the douchebag sheriff. Here's the thing. I forgot what the sheriff's name was, so I'm just going to call him douchebag sheriff. That's what I'm going to be calling him.
I like Officer Barbrady.
His name was we never say it, but if you get a close up, there's a close up of his driver's license and a little bit of his backstory. His name is actually Brock. First name Brock, last name Lee. So his name is Brock Lee. So this guy grew up going through elementary school and part of junior high, just getting teased on about his name constantly. And so one day at the end of junior high and high school, he just decided he wasn't going to take any more crap. He was going to be a man, and he was just always going to be, the big badass. So.
Right, it's kind of like the town victim becoming the bully, pretty much by abusing the law, abusing the badge, basically. Yeah, I definitely understand that, because I've seen I see this all the time in my town and everything too, with some people and stuff like that too. So it's very relatable. But yeah, Samantha, my question is this: what got you into the role of this character? What helped you prepare for that character to play somebody that is being abused verbally, not only verbally but mentally, though too, to go through that whole entire stage of the fact that this guy throws you out, and then you're winding up having to figure out a way to cover up your scar, and then try and find a way to get out of this town. So, how did you prepare yourself for a scene like that?
Unfortunately, with this movie and this character, it was pretty much exactly kind of how I grew up. So it was very easy to get into this character. It was something I was very used to. It wasn't really hard. I just pretended I was young again. And then I just have to remind myself that it's acting. But just, it wasn't as hard as it looks. It's very easy to play victim, especially being a female. You watch enough TV and stuff. You just play the victim, and I mean, for me, it was easy. Like I said, unfortunately, that was something I was very used to growing up. So it was like a blast from the past.
I gotcha. And I just have to say this: the makeup that they did on you was really good. It was very spot on.
It was.
It was, to be honest with you, I'm like, okay, she's going to need more than peroxide and alcohol for this one. She's going to need an incision kit. And so, but you mean, go on ahead.
One of the festival awards that we have won was actually for best hair and makeup. So
you guys deserved it, to be honest with you, because the makeup department did a very good job with it. And
yeah, it was really rough.
But yeah, I'm like, and then of course you meet up with Patty, and here's the thing: when you guys are in the car together, and my favorite thing is when Patty jokes about because even I thought that was about to go dark with this woman, right? I thought that it was going to go where she killed her husband, and then she goes, "No, I got a divorce." I'm like,
yeah, that was great.
Right? I'm like, nah, you probably killed him. He probably
Yeah.
pushed down the stairs and said, "Oh, he tripped over his own feet and broke his own neck."
I loved
know.
that part.
Yep, and she did.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
That,
I just
that's
thought it was-
my Jason
sorry.
and I talked about that, and I'm like, yeah, she took him out. So
Yeah.
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 I just thought that whole sequence was funny. It's like how he started out like, oh, the honeymoon phase. I just thought the banner between you two towards the end was like, you guys are in a marriage. We talked about like you started out great. I'm like, can we get something to eat? Sure, we'll get something to eat. I'm like, I didn't want to get something to eat. Why'd you make me do it or whatever? It's just I just thought the banner towards the end of it was kind of funny. He's like, yep, they're talking like they're talking about getting out of like relationships and they were really in one.
And you see, with me, I was thinking of the along the lines of like a road trip where you're just getting tired of being with someone for long periods of time on a long road trip. And it was like, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and pull over for you to eat. After all, I don't want to eat, but you want to eat. So how selfish of me for. So that's what I got out of it. I got, it's just like you're stuck because here's the thing: we don't know exactly where Patty's actually taking her or how far away from this town
Right.
actually is, or anything like that either. So that's also another thing I was wondering. I'm like, how far away is this other town in? How far away is this restaurant how long have they been driving? Stuff like that. That was
Right.
something that was
Actually,
that was talking about.
It was actually
Not very
kind of
long.
cut. It was actually cut out of.
Mhm.
I think it was in the original script, but somewhere along the line it got cut. I don't remember exactly where. But after she falls asleep or she's drugged and she passes out. There was a scene where she woke up again and saw some road signs.
I-49 or something like that. Right?
Yeah, some road signs indicating that they were heading back the way that they came.
Yeah.
So Patty actually drives her back to the town
Where I live.
where she lives. Yeah.
Yes. On a back road.
Yes.
Yes.
On a back road. The well is just outside of Patty's house, and she lives in the same town that the movie started in. So she drove and then came back. That somewhere along the line that got cut out of the script because I thought it was just too confusing. But I don't remember exactly when she did it, but it did.
You see, though, that's what works for me, though, is the fact that we don't know how far she's driving or how long they've been on the road. So that's, to me, I think that was a smart thing with that because we don't quite know where she's going or if she took her back to the town or not or anything like that either. So that's something that worked for me and everything, to be honest with you. And then also, too, my favorite part is when they're inside the diner and they're eating, and Patty just looks over and to this other family and just starts flipping out. I told you I didn't want to eat here. But no, you just had to go ahead and drag me in here because you were hungry. But
But
I was starting
I do explain that actually. I mean, I did not want to do that. And I told her I did not want to do that. But okay, if you watch the sunset with me, we'll do it. And then after I see the family, and yes, I flip out. Okay. But then I go back to Kat and I'm like, this is not what I wanted to do. That was exactly what I did not want to see. And here's why. And yeah. But Kat and I have a relationship. We do.
Right.
And I love Kat. Patty loves Kat. I love Kat. I love Sam. Yes. And that's a big thing. For Patty, that's like a new thing, I think. The relationship between Patty and Kat was a little bit different from previous other relationships.
But yeah, I thought that was actually pretty neat. There's like a little bit of mystery element to that family. It's like, okay, I'm wondering if this family recognizes her, or the fact that we also see the missing people. So I was like, maybe that's linked to that family. So I'm doing this whole entire thing. I look like CSI doing all these, have this big old huge red marks going everywhere, trying to figure out how all this matches up and everything and things like that. Doing a whole entire speculation piece, which I always do.
The missing people on the posters are not connected to the family.
No.
They're connected,
wow.
They're connected to Patty.
Okay. That's okay. I like that twist. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yep.
I love that twist.
Yes.
Because you would think that it was all the missing families and stuff like that with their kids and everything, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely love that. I love that whole entire aspect now even more because now there's that little surprise too. So that's even a surprise for me. So that's something I appreciate.
Awesome.
I had a question for all you guys. Since you guys were filming this, what was it like to film during a pandemic? To be honest, since COVID, that's the question I want to know. How was it? Because each set's different. I just wanted to know what was it like.
It was definitely a challenge. We before we started filming, I got COVID safe set certified, and I took a big class or an online class about it, and I have a certificate around here somewhere. But and we did our best to abide by all the rules that they laid out. If you weren't on camera, everyone was required to have their masks on. I had probably about 24 bottles of hand sanitizer around the set. We had Clorox wipes that we wiped everything down with as much as we could. So we did it about as safe as we possibly could. And as far as I know, it worked. Nobody involved in it got sick.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's great though. I'm always wondering about stuff like that too myself and things like that. You know.
But yeah, thanks for answering that. I was always interested. You talked. You were talking about how you were filming this, and that's why I wanted to know what was it like to do that. And then another question in the chat was, how much did it cost you to film this?
Everyone was gracious enough to work for free for credit. The entire cast, the entire crew. I paid. I had a little bit of a fundraising thing before we filmed. I raised about $1,500, and about 100 of it went to special effects, like the makeup and stuff like that. 50 of it went to buying like the hand sanitizer and stuff like that, and the rest of it went to food and hotel rooms for everyone when they came into town.
Nice.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Because here's the thing: people don't realize the production value on everything that you have to pay everybody and stuff like that too to be there, and a lot of upkeep with the whole entire hotel rooms and stuff like that too. So there's a lot that actually has to go into your budget and everything too. My question is this: like when you go into your budget and everything, like how much goes into your planning as far as doing a film like this? Do you actually run out of funds, and what do you do after you run out of funds? Do you have to go on ahead and do another type of GoFundMe, or how do you do that?
Well, it depends. If you're in the middle of shooting and you run out of funds, you're pretty much down to the last resort, which is probably the credit card.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you have some time before production, then yeah, another round of fundraising is probably the best bet. But I definitely would advise not to use the credit card at all.
Okay.
There's a funny story about that, about like a director, I think, for a movie came out in the 90s called Samurai Cop, in which they didn't have a lot of funds. So they couldn't afford clothing, so they had to wear their own clothes, couldn't afford doors. So that, and then so one of the main star has this long hair, and then the director tells him, we ran out of money. So he's like, okay, guy shaves his head. After he shaves his head, the director tells him, what are you talking about? What'd you do that for? We got more money. He's wearing this horrible wig. And then like at one of my film classes, I learned about the Kickstarters and pretty much like the funding to it, about like if you don't raise your goal, you don't keep the money. So I thought that was interesting. But I just thought I should mention that there's a director that lost money, ran out of money, guy shaved his head, and I thought it was a pretty funny story.
Yeah. Yeah, all kinds of things can happen when you run out of money, that's for sure.
Hey, Bill.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right.
How are you doing? That's good.
This is a new experience for me.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank
But yeah, you're very welcome. So, my question is this: like, what for you, Bill? What did you do for the set and everything? That's something I was wondering about.
for the set.
Yeah.
I do nothing. Just I'm a friend with Samantha on Facebook, and it just brought this up, so I just thought I'd check it out.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's. Okay, it's not a
I
problem.
can.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
I
It's
was
okay.
wondering too.
Sorry,
It's okay, Samantha. It's
I
fine.
have no idea who that is. I
Okay, I
have
was
no idea
wondering
who that
because
is.
it's okay. It's okay. It's
I
cool.
thought it was with you.
No, I thought he was with you guys.
Oh.
Okay, well, anyways,
No.
it's okay. It's perfectly fine. So anyways, so my question is for Marilyn though too, is this. When my question is this: how long have you been actually doing acting and stuff like that?
Recently, yeah. When I was a kid, I did acting. I was with Bobby Ball agency in Phoenix, but I was still pretty young. And then I took life happened, and I took a different road. And then I was on True Detective, just as background actor, and I loved it so much. I went, I got to do this. And so, what was that? 2018, 19 is when it came out.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much how long I've been actively pursuing it.
That's awesome, to be honest with you. I'm actually happy that you are picking up a way of actually doing acting and stuff like that because, like I said, you are really talented when it comes down to acting, and your abilities is really outstanding, to be honest with you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I'm just wondering, for the role of Patty, did you have to do any type of improv or anything like that, or?
Not too much. I think we all stuck to the script pretty well, but I did have conversations with Jason, and Jason said, don't worry about it too much, just get that psychological feeling across. And Sam helped me a ton. And the guy that plays Brock, Clayton, he's actually the one that like kind of threw a loop into what my plans were, because he does like to do some improv, and he changed up the scene for me a bit. I don't know if that happened to you, Sam, but it did for me. But it was okay.
Okay.
It was really good, and I think it really improved that one scene with Brock and me.
That's great. That's pretty cool. Because here's the thing. When it came down to that one scene where you end up throwing Kat into the trunk, and then also too, when the sheriff comes in and everything, I'm like, okay, there is some hope. Then all of a sudden we see douchebag sheriff. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to end well.
No.
Because there's like a little small smidgen of hope, and then all of a sudden, like, he looks at the purse, he looks back at her. Have a good night, ma'am. And then,
Yeah.
That's why I call him Officer Barbrady, because he's like, okay, move along, nothing to see here. Like, he just walks away. It's like, Jason, when you're talking about him growing up, this reminds me of the sequence in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, talking about like when I think the Kumar character is going off on the cop. I'm like, you were probably a jock in high school, and you'd be bullied, and you don't work out well. And he's like, how can I get back at people? Oh, that's right, I'll be a cop.
Yeah.
It reminded me that one
Right.
so much. But yeah, I'm calling him Officer Barber. He's like, move along, nothing to see here.
Yeah. Clayton was very intimidating, by the way. And he's not at all like that. I mean, he's the sweetest guy. And he's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Right, Sam?
Not me. I mean, he's. But yes, in certain ways, yeah, I guess he can be.
Well, his
that's just how much
character was very scary to me.
Yeah.
that's true. His character was scary, to be honest with you. Someone that can actually use their body to overpower a woman, and then also too just to throw that person on the ground and everything like she's nothing, and then treat her like nothing.
Mhm.
But you can definitely tell he was invested
Yeah.
into that role. He did a really good job with that, and you also did a very good job too as
And he
Samantha.
did,
To be honest
yes.
with you.
Thank you. But he did.
You're very welcome.
He did very well. And I told him, I said, don't be easy on me. Don't give me that little girl push. I want you to really push me. And Jason, at the first take we did of that scene, Jason was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I do my own stunts. Come on now." But no, I told Clayton, I said, don't be easy on me. You push me. I want it to be real. I want it to look real. I'm really into the whole I want it to look real thing. And it was a lot of fun.
That's cool though. I'm glad that you were able to do your own stunt and everything. And I actually did feel like it hurt, to be honest with you, whenever you fell down. So
I never felt a thing being pushed against the door, falling down on the concrete or nothing. It was nothing to me at all. I wanted it to look good.
you did make it look good, because if you could make me look like I hurt, you did a good job. So kudos to you for doing that, to be honest with you. My other thing though too is this too. I'm gonna ask the same question I asked Marilyn though. How long have you been doing this, Samantha?
Well, once I was a little kid, I always wanted to be an actress. I always thought of myself being and I always got these lead roles in these big theater productions, but then nothing ever happened. And then in 2015, I got to be a part of God's Not Dead 2. And then me and the director became very close, very good friends. And then he kept me on for a while. And then it kind of boomed and spiraled from there. So it was constantly something. Right after that, it was a commercial. And then it was a movie that I auditioned for and got a supporting lead. And then it's just been movies, TV shows, a lot of that after that. So 2015 was probably my start of it.
That's awesome though, because I know auditioning can be nerve-wracking too, to be honest with you. It's like, okay, there's 3 or 4 other people being discovered for that role. How do I land this role, and how do I make them remember me? Is the big thing that
3 or 4. There's usually like
well, I'm just exaggerating.
Hundreds.
I know there's more.
Yeah, there's hundreds. Yeah.
But yeah, it can be intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. That can actually be really intimidating, because like, how do I get these people to remember me? What's the big standout for me to put my marker on this bill here, to where I can make myself stand out? And then also too, there's also the anxiety of not sure if you're gonna get this role or not. And then they tell you, oh, you did such a great job and everything, and then you go through. Here's the thing. I know that I couldn't be an actor or anything like that, because the anxiety level through me, I'll be like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I'll be like, okay, I need to call them. Did I do a good job? Did I do it? my anxiety be through the roof, to be honest with you.
You can't do that.
No, I'm just joking with you. But seriously though, my anxiety level be through things. So I give you guys huge commitment and kudos for being an actor, actress, as a director, and stuff like that, to be able to face those anxieties in you to do what you guys do.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
You got to think of it as my thing is, I love acting. I love being someone other than who I am. I love taking on a different persona. I love pretending to be somebody I'm not. I love interacting, just acting like you're somebody else. And so when you audition and stuff like that too, that's what you got to do, because there are so many big famous actors and actresses that have auditioned 100 times and been turned down, and then finally 100-something role, and then they nail it, and then suddenly now they're so big, their name just saying it. It takes a lot, and it takes a lot of patience, but you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun along with it, otherwise you'll get frustrated and quit. But you have to enjoy it and want it, be able to get it actually. But my opinion.
Exactly.
Fun is what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah.
That I have to agree. Because if you're not having
Yeah.
fun with it or anything like that,
Or
you're
would you do it? Yeah.
right, exactly. And also too, like you said, becoming the other character, letting yourself disappear and letting yourself become that character is the big turnout
Yes.
and everything.
Yes.
Let's see here.
And you have to
Jenna
have that
asks-
connection with other actresses too.
That's true. That's very true. Let's see here. Jenna asks this. With the success of this film, are there plans for future films with the same crew?
Yes, we're actually
Yes.
filming the sort of sequel to Alone. It's called Masquerade. Our last day of filming is this Sunday,
Yes.
and I hope to be doing this
Mhm.
in about 4 to 5 months.
That's great, man. And also too,
Awesome.
my question is, here's the thing. My question is for you though, Jason.
Mhm.
Like, the role of the director is to get the best out of your actors or actresses. And how do you get them set up for these roles that you have them play in and everything?
That's a tough question. These particular actresses and actresses, I didn't have to do a lot of work. We had several discussions about the characters and the backstory and the motivations of these characters, and I think once that is clear and that what I want from that and what is portrayed in their performances, if it's built on who these people are, then a lot of that other stuff comes naturally. If you get what I'm saying.
Right.
So a lot of my focus was on that, like just talking to them about their relationships, the backstory and motivations of these characters, and they did all the work, and I couldn't be happier with it. And it's a very similar situation with the film I'm shooting now, Masquerade. Though the actors that we have on that are phenomenal as well. There have been a couple times where I was like the line didn't have exactly what I was looking for, and I was like, "Hey, try it this way," or I reminded them like what that character was feeling in this moment, and then they would nail it. So yeah, it's
That's great.
Yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. That did. I do appreciate that. But yeah, here's the thing though. Like, I know that it can be hard and everything on the set and things like that. But what would be like the hardest thing that you've ever done on a set?
Well, so far, in my experience, the hardest things haven't come from getting the performances from the actors. It's come from unforeseen circumstances and obstacles.
Yes.
Getting what we need. The biggest example I have for Alone was in the gas station scene.
Gas
The owner of the gas station was supposed to be there, but that morning he had some kind of medical emergency and was in the hospital, so he wasn't there. And the music in the gas station was playing, and we needed it off because it caused continuity errors, right? Like a song singing in one shot, and then you cut to another shot. You hit, there's time to set up for that. By the time you get rolling on the second shot, it's a different song, right? So it wouldn't make sense. So we needed this music off, and we had no way of getting into the office because he had the key. So it was a major problem. We actually took the speaker covers off and stuffed it with shirts to muffle the sound, and it worked. And I'm pretty sure our sound guy's shirt is still up in the roof of that.
Like, you know what? That's great though, because
Jason.
Go on.
Sorry, I was gonna say, Jason, when you think about it, that is our second problem with the second movie. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and
The
in
music.
fact, yeah, last weekend we're shooting on location for Masquerade.
Yep.
In fact, just like 2 days ago, this happened. Sunday.
Yep.
And,
Yes.
And
yes.
there's a neighbor we're outside. It's a big scene. There's a ambulance. There's a cop car. We got paramedics there. A lot going on, and this neighbor who has problems with the homeowner of the house that we're shooting at. He just decides that he wants to be a jerk to these people all the time. He brings his stereo and speakers, sets them on his front porch, and blasts the music.
Yes.
And I even went over
It
there
was
and talked
horrible.
to him. I was like, hey, man, do you mind? Or my assistant director went over there and talked to him, and it didn't work.
Mhm.
It made it worse, turned it up higher, and then got in his
Yep.
car and left with the music playing.
Yes. Left it blaring. It was horrible.
I would have to say that is a horrible experience. You know, you don't have anybody that wants to be inconsiderate and everything considered towards you guys on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's
so-
hard to deal with. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's delayed, so I feel like I don't realize I'm interrupting you. But no, originally we went and asked the guy to it told him what we were doing, tried to offer him stuff, you know, and he was very rude and said, no, this is my house. He then went inside his house, brought his speakers outside, and then blared it, and then he left, which makes it, to me, 10 times worse. Yeah, it was bad.
So what we ended up doing is we ended up shooting the scene, and then we went inside
Mhm.
and did ADR, and they had the actors dub over their own lines, which was kind of difficult, but it worked out. It'll be fine.
It was.
Wow.
I'm going to take your word for it, Jason.
Yeah.
That's really bad. But I'm glad that you managed to find a way to move around that
Yeah.
and everything. But that still sucks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun that day, and
Yep.
had to change it on the fly. You know, that's what you got to do. You gotta just you can't freak out. You can't get mad because that doesn't help anything.
No.
So you take a deep breath, and then you just go through your options, and then you tell your team what you're going to do, and then we do it together and get through it. So
Right. It's all about readjusting, coming up with the best solution possible, and be as patient as you can with it, and then seeing what the outcome is and everything. So yeah, definitely if you wind up being angry and everything and stuff like that, everybody on the set's going to be uncomfortable and things like that. And you want the actors and actresses to be as safe and also to be as comfortable as possible. So I totally understand that. You have to be cool and collect.
I was
you flip out and get mad.
pretty angry.
Yeah. He was wanting to load her gun.
Oh boy.
I really was. It was bad.
But let's see. There's also something else that I wanted to ask Marilyn though too, with the role of Patty and stuff like that. I love the origin story of Patty, to be honest with you, where it was like she was a nurse and things like that. But I was also kind of curious though too, was this, did you actually have to study anything with being a nurse or anything like that to get you set up into the role, or was that something that just came natural?
No, I really didn't. But I will add that my mom is in an assisted living facility. And so I see what the people there, what they do and how they care for the elderly. And I really appreciate everything that they do. And I think that Patty really wanted to be a nurse like that in a home like that to help people. But then some things happened, and I think that's kind of where the twist comes in. I think that she had some issues, and it triggered some things in her. So I guess I didn't really study anything. I just have experience with my mom being in a facility like that.
That's good though. You were able to do some small improv there to where you can actually say, try to have that little bit of caring towards somebody that you just met, and to be able to be a caregiver towards somebody, and have that little instinct that your mom gave you too to help you with the character. So I admire that. That's really awesome. So let's see here. Is there any more stuff that you're going to be doing in the future? I know that you're doing this other project, but is there anything else that you're going to be doing aside from that?
Right now, I got. We're finishing up Masquerade in October. I'm planning on shooting a fan film, a Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th fan film. It's called Voorhees Night of the Beast. There is an Indiegogo if anyone listening would like to contribute. And then also, I'm planning on shooting the third film in the Alone series next. I'm looking at next March, early to mid March. It's called Lonely Echoes, and both. Patty will be back, and. I don't know about Brock yet. I'm talking to him. I'm trying to get him back. But we'll see.
I'm excited for that.
If you
What about me?
Sam's gonna be there.
Pat's not coming back. But
But Masquerade.
do we want to spoil that?
Well,
I mean, it's
I'm
a
the
spoiler
twin.
review.
Well,
Yeah.
Nah.
I am the twin sister in Masquerade, so I will be continuing in the next one as the twin sister.
Okay.
Right? That's no spoiler, right?
Yes. Kind of is, but it's all right.
It's a spoiler. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Kat talks about her twin. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
It's okay.
Oops.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I was kind of guessing that, to be honest, what was going to be for the sequel.
Most
Yeah.
That seems to be the trend.
But
You know,
here's something I was wondering about though, Jason. With you doing the documentary for Jason and everything, is there any type of studio rights or anything like that whenever you're going through something? Because I know right now, as far as the video game stuff goes and things like that, the video game company, they're in trouble with the people who actually own Jason Voorhees. So I'm just kind of curious, what do you have to go through as a director to set up something like for a fan type of film that?
It's not a documentary. It's a fan film. It is,
right.
It's going to be an actual narrative that takes place in between Jason takes Manhattan and Jason Goes to Hell. Now, if you're making a fan film, and you make it clear from the beginning that you're not doing it for profit and you don't want to make any type of money off of it, and everything is transparent and you keep records showing that, then you're in the clear. You're fine. They won't try to sue you or anything.
Okay.
There's millions of Batman fan films and Ghost. I mean, they're
Star Trek and.
But yeah, Star Trek.
Right.
But the minute you start to monetize it, then you're in trouble.
Okay, because that's something that I was just kind of curious about. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Now, the video game is monetizing it.
Right.
But the reason that they're in trouble is because there's currently a battle over the rights to Jason, and they had permission from one company, and then when the lawsuit took place, the other company is saying that they have rights to it, and they never got permission from the other company. It's actually the original screenwriter, Steve Miller, I think, and Sean Cunningham are fighting over it.
Right. Okay. That's something that I was just curious about because I've seen fan stuff before and things like that. So I wasn't sure how directors and people that are fans of certain genres and stuff like that, how that actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know that it can go good one way, but bad the other way. But as long as you're not monetizing it, as long as you're not showing that you're trying to copy what they do and everything, you're fine with it. That they're fine with it.
Correct.
So, okay. All right. So with that being said, is there anything else that you want to cover, Charlie? Is there anything you want to
I was about to ask him about the what was it like to film the ending? Since this is technically a spoiler review.
The well scene or the after credits ending scene?
Well, we'll start with the well scene, then we'll go to the post credit sequence, but because that well scene was intense.
The well scene was very difficult actually because it was like 4 a.m. Everyone was tired. We had been shooting all day, and poor Marilyn drugged Sam like 10 times, and I felt so horrible.
Oh,
Making
I
her
was
doing
fine, Jason. It was
I did too. I wanted to help her so bad. Like, here, let me help you bang my body.
it was
But I
fine.
couldn't.
And I grunted more than I really needed to because, I was supposed to be elderly and all that kind of stuff. So I was fine.
Yeah.
But it was 4 in the morning when we got done. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired.
It was very tiring. Yeah.
It looked great. I'm getting a little bit of constructive criticism over my choice to have the gurgling last so long, but I really wanted.
That was not me. By the way, I would like everyone to know that long gurgling was not me. That was their special. I did it a short little bit. Special effects added it. I actually objected to the long. Once I seen it, I was like, oh no, this is not. I told it as, oh no, should have cut. No.
I mean, that was a creative choice that I made, and personally, I love it because I wanted it to be as uncomfortable as possible. I wanted to be like, I wanted to really show that a death like this takes a long time, and that noise of her choking for I think it's actually like a minute or so, maybe even a little bit longer, is very unnerving. And I watch people during the the screenings and stuff, and it's hard for people to sit through. And I really think it's mostly due to that choice of having that choking that long. The singing, I think, is awesome. That was Marilyn. Marilyn picked a song. I suggested she sing something, and then once she picked the song, and we got to the point where we were doing the score, I said, "Hey," I told the composer. I said, why don't you do something kind of cool with Hush Little Baby? And if you listen really close in the at the beginning of the restaurant scene, there's like Hush Little, like he really played with it in the restaurant when you're seeing the missing posters, which I loved. I thought it was a great touch. But
Marilyn, during that whole sequence of this, that like, you telling her like, shh, just it's okay, just look at the sunset. It remind me of the Walking Dead sequence of when Carol shot the girl. Look at the pretty flowers.
Yeah, look at the flowers.
I don't know. I just kept getting so many vibes. Like I stopped watching that show after season 2, but I remember that moment in the show and the Walking Dead. It just got too weird. But hearing the just look at the sunshine, like look at the sunset. I was like, yep, this is Walking Dead territory.
It's okay, honey. Just look at the flowers.
That was creepy. I just to be blindly honest, I'm not a horror fan at all. Like horror movies are not my favorite ones. I don't like this one. Like I said, I enjoyed this one, but there's very few horror movies that actually have me entertained. And like, or that I actually want to watch. I don't like. John made me do a trailer reaction to a horror movie, and I was like, and the doctors are like, no. The last horror movie I watched was Freaky. That's the Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton with the body swap.
Oh,
great movie. That was great. And again, it was a horror movie, but it didn't feel like horror. Like I don't watch horror movies, but I got the references in it. But like I said, I mean, this is like a different type of horror that I enjoy. But I mean, I gotta admit that ending was creepy. And then the post-credit scene was very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that post-credit scene, to be honest with you, when I see the little girl, I'm like, no, do not go.
Run away. Here they are. And then he's driving. I'm like, and the parents are just looking. And then he ended it like, it's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
That was the intent.
Yeah.
Right.
Jason, somebody suggested to you to have me let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
yeah,
I said,
a lot of people are like, Patty needs to
no, and I'm like, no, Patty would not let her go.
Nope.
There's no way Patty would let her go.
No, definitely
Patty
not.
wants to save her. And that's how she would do it, is take her away.
Mm-hmm.
Patty's going to need a bigger well after all this.
Right. She's going to need a bigger, instead of a bigger boat, it's like, I need a bigger well.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I cannot wait till all this gets to where I have to what I have in my head, and for everyone who has has seen this movie and liked it as much as you guys, because you guys aren't the only ones. There's been several people, and
I loved it, man.
Can't thank you guys enough, and I cannot.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
I can't wait to. I mean, we're gaining fans by the day, and I can't
That's
wait to get to the point where you guys see what we have coming. Because
Nice.
We can't either, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Jason.
I've told Patty. I mean, I've told Marilyn. I've told Marilyn what I have in mind, especially for Lonely Echoes, the third one, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm
All
excited
It will
to
be
see where
fun.
the
I am
trajectory
too.
goes. Will Patty get sent? Will somebody get justice for Patty or what? I don't know. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Me too. And you know what, though, man? I wanted to actually say this to you before we sign off, though, too, is the fact that I felt like this had like a little bit of Tales from the Crypt kind of vibe to it, mixed in with some of the 90s kind of flavor horror miniseries that we used to get.
Yeah.
Which I was eating that up all the way through the movie and everything, because the way the camera angles were, the way that it has that authentic kind of film shooting style felt like 90s to me. It sounded like 90s to me, which
That's what
I was
grew
just
up
eating
on.
up.
I grew up on Tales from the Crypt, so heavily influenced by it.
Ew. Me
This
too.
particular
Me
story,
too.
heavily influenced by Misery.
Oh, nice. I love Stephen King.
I don't know if you guys caught it, but
Yes. Oh.
her character even says some of the same verbiage that Kathy Bates did. She, at one point, she calls Brock Mr. Man and refers to some other people as Dirty Bird.
Yep.
Yes.
I caught
the Dirty
a few of those.
Birds was the big one.
Got the homage to Poltergeist in there with the little girl. She turns and says they're here when she's talking about her parents.
Oh,
Got
okay.
the same haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What effects did you use for the well sequence after when they scan over the well and you see the acid boiling? What was the effects used for that in the well? I was like, whoa, okay, that was that was more intensity on that scene, but it's like just the emphasis on the well. I thought that was really cool, but the inside of it, that's the big question.
Everything that you see inside the well was there except for the skull.
Oh, okay.
It was exactly like that. We had a flashlight, we shined it down the well and got that shot.
Nice.
And everything except for the skull is exactly what we saw when we shot it. And then we just digitally imposed the skull that you see floating in the middle of it.
Oh, nice.
It worked out really well. I just want to say that. Just improvising the flashlight and everything was really great.
The only thing that I think could have been better was the green screen in the car scene at the night driving on the passenger side. Something went a little weird there. It doesn't look right on the driver's side. On Patty's side, I think it looked okay, but something went funky on that side, and I don't know.
But it wasn't bad, Jason.
Yeah,
I didn't notice anything.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
No.
It really wasn't. It wasn't anything you did, so yeah.
To be honest with you, man, I was mostly focused in on the characters to not even notice anything else.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and that's the thing that I like is the enticing thing is the characters and the development of the characters. That little small thing just didn't matter to me at that
You're
point.
all our worst critics, so
Yes.
I mean, the two of you guys had great chemistry throughout the whole movie, and it's going to my common theme. Like John and I, we did a review of The Notebook a while back, and I didn't think the chemistry between McAdams and Ryan Gosling was there at all. You guys had better chemistry than those two.
Well, I give
It was easy.
credit because Sam was awesome, and she helped me so much, and she kept encouraging me and helping me stay on track and all that kind of stuff. So.
And you know what? I could say the same thing or better with Marilyn. She was the most amazing person. Where the chemistry was very easy. She was so into her character, and it was very easy to feel closer. And I actually fell in love with her, like for real. Like if I was Kat or me, I loved her to an extent, both character and personal. She was very easy, and I would work with her again any day. Any day. I love her. She was very easy.
You guys
to
were
work with.
great. You guys definitely showed on screen. Like you want to know, I'm like, Okay, like you knew the chemistry was like the butting heads. That's why I referenced the marriage, because it looked like it was like a marriage situation between the two of you guys, and then all the way to the end, it was like, oh no.
Let's see.
But
This is what
Patty loves
Oh.
cats. So,
She loved Cat.
yeah, she loves cat.
She was doing her a favor.
She did in her own sick way. She really did love Kat, and I think Kat actually let that guard down a little bit, and I think Kat actually felt a bond with Marilyn. She started to really kind of let her guard down and really kind of understand her and kind of open up to her a little bit. And I think in a way she really did start to feel very close to her.
Yeah,
She loved her in a way, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And when Kat says, I miss my mom, and then you're holding me and I'm holding you, I'm like,
yes,
I'm your mom.
Right.
Yeah, she was the mother figure, the first. Yeah.
Right at that point. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So.
Yeah. Kat let
You
her
know what,
in.
though?
And, yeah.
Patty has a little bit of innocence to her, though. She kind of reminds me of Belle Skarsgård from Stephen King's It, where she has those innocent eyes and it lures people in to where people but here's the thing. She's able to lure people in and just have their walls down to where you can trust her. And then out of nowhere,
and then she drugs me. Anyway, instead of drinking a tea full of blood, I drink a drug. We're talking about the original It, right?
Right.
Are we talking about the original Stephen King's It? Okay. Yeah, with the little old lady, and she gets and she drinks that little tea, and she realizes it's blood. Patty did the same thing to me, but she dropped the drink. Evil thing. Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. I loved it. You're right. She did that to me.
Right.
Or like the Legion. Have you ever seen Legion?
Yeah.
Where the little lady comes in there and I'm not even going to say what she says, but she's so cute and she's like, and then I'm like, and I'm like, oh crap. That's Patty. I love that movie. The little lady coming in there, she's just, and she's like, I won't say what she says, she curses, but I don't know about this, show. But what she says, you're like, what the crap just happened right here? And then she starts climbing on the walls. That's Marilyn. That's Patty. That's what she wanted to do. Sorry. Yeah. You are referenced from two movies, straight up. It and Legion.
Right.
But let's see here.
That's how I felt.
Jenna,
anyway,
This is what Jenna has to say. Thank you all for the passion and dedication to create enjoyable content for those of us less capable.
Thank you.
Aww.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a fan, and you're very welcome.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything that Charlie and I wanted to cover. Is there anything else you wanted to ask Charlie, or?
No, I'm good. I think I asked it. I went to we was talking about the ending because we didn't do it in the review.
No, because right, exactly. Because I was also wondering about the well scene and things like that too. So we covered everything that we wanted to cover. Jason, where can everybody follow you at if they want to follow you on social media or anything like that? If you have anything open for people to follow you at or anything like that.
I'm a big Facebook guy, so just search me on Facebook and send me a request. I do have an Instagram and a Twitter. I don't use them very much, but I don't even know what the handles are. So if you want to find me on those, you just have to Google me or whatever.
Okay.
Just
all right. Okay. So is there any other social media platforms that anybody can reach y'all on or anything like that? Or no? Okay. So
I'm
with that
Samantha M. Shaw 1 on Facebook. That's about it. I have a page.
Okay. So with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for the show. I appreciate Marilyn coming on. I appreciate Samantha coming on. And of course, Jason, I appreciate this interview. This has been a fun interview. This has been great. Another
Thank you.
thing too, guys, is do me a favor. Go ahead, hit that like button, smash that like button, smash that share button. Also, too, you guys can donate to the page. How do
Absolutely.
you guys do that? That's simple. Just go ahead, click below. There's actually some links there. Just go to www.gofundme.com/movie lovers podcast. Donate $5 to $10 just to show us some love. If you guys can't, that's perfectly fine too. We understand that the pandemic actually has everybody's money in the wallet and everything too in their pockets, so that's okay too. We do appreciate the love and support just by a simple like and a simple share. Also too, if you guys want to follow us on Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Pinterest as well underneath the same brand name. You guys can also find an audio version of this podcast where you guys get your podcast from. Then of course you guys can also follow me at Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter and John Gregorio 8 on Twitter. You guys can also reach out to me at Movie Lovers unite@gmail.com. And of course, you can follow me on Stereo at Movie Lovers Unit over there, where Charlie and I sometimes do some episodes over there. Thursday night, I actually have Rossi McCree, independent actress, with me. We're going to be reviewing White Boy Rick, the documentary, at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific Time. And of course, we're also going to be doing our Falcon and Winter Soldier after show at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific Time on Friday. This is the season finale. You do not want to miss out on our spoiler show. Go on ahead. Give us a like, give us a share. It's always been a pleasure and a privilege to be able to interview you guys.
We're doing our review on Saturday for the Mortal Kombat movie that is coming on HBO Max, released on Friday. So on Saturday, John and I will be doing the review for that. We're looking forward to it. That movie looks awesome. So just wanted to let you everybody know we're doing that as well.
All right. So as always, until next time, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. Can't wait to do this again. And bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're